And now, please welcome tonight's Community Leader honoree, Ilene Chaiken.
So, I've had a pretty sweet gig these last 7 years, right? Let's just say that it has not been hard to get up and go to work in the mornings. Now, as my breathtaking and beloved colleague so aptly pointed out, this evening, Saturday, November 1st, 2008, we are on the brink of an historic election. Let me be the one to lower the tone, to point out that we're also a mere 6 weeks out from the debut of the 6th and final season of The L Word. On Sunday, January 18th, 2009, we go on the air with our final 8 episodes. As you can imagine, it's bittersweet for me. The sweet part, I know, is going to stay with me for a very, very, very long time, thanks to all of you. If you could bear with me for just a few moments, I'm going to indulge in what I'd like to think of not as bitterness, but just as kind of a little call to action. Because the thing is that I had imagined that when we announced that the L Word was coming to an end, there would be another show, or maybe another 2 or 3 shows, poised to take up where we're leaving off. I thought maybe we would have our lesbian cop show on CBS. You know, a latter-day Cagney and Lacey, in which the prettier cop is a svelte, stylish dyke, and her ostensibly straight partner is one of those big-boned, handsome, vaguely homophobic gals. Or I don't know, where's our doctor show in which Patrick or Patricia Dempsey stars? Stars being the operative concept, as the egotistical head of surgery with a slew of romance problems, but no issues about being comfortably and demonstratively out of the closet. And while we're at it, you could give me, you know, a comic book superhero movie in which the pithy one-liners and snarky asides are believably uttered by a homosexual billionaire industrialist who likes to fight evil while showing off his muscles in a tight-fitting costume. As an aside, I'm willing to bet you that if that movie were to be made with the same skill and resources and budget of, say, Iron Man or The Dark Knight, it would be no less successful at the box office. I'm really not bitter in the least. In fact, I'm basking in the sweetness of having had 6 years on the air, doing a TV show that shattered stereotypes and brought visibility to our glorious and diverse community. I just feel a little bummed that when the L Word goes off the air in March of 2009, LGB folks stand to be cast back into the desert in terms of primary representation of our lives and stories in mainstream popular television. We're hardly better represented now than we were 10, even 20 years ago, and bizarrely and inexplicably less well represented than we were just a few years back, when at least we had Will and Grace and Queer Eye and Queer as Folk. Even now, as we stand on the brink of gaining hard-fought civil rights in the culture at large, in the entertainment culture, we're relegated still to minor roles as recurring secondary characters or cute but oddly asexual best friends, and sometimes on procedurals we get to be murder victims. I mean, really, thank God for Showtime. The folks at Showtime, especially the wonderful Matt Blank and Bob Greenblatt, Gary Levine and Danielle Gelber, Len Fogy, George DeBolt, Howard Sherman, David Bowers, Fake Hats, and of course our very own Gwen Marcus, without whom we wouldn't be here tonight. They have supported us and embraced our lives and our stories. They've been our greatest champions. Showtime, as you know, is not explicitly mandated to produce LGBT-themed programming, and yet they've produced and aired not 1, but 2 scripted, big-budget, star-driven drama series about us. And they've emerged as the hottest, smartest, most critically acclaimed network on television. I just think there's got to be a message in that. I do always feel heartened and encouraged when I get to spend time around women like Stephanie Gibbons and Lisa Sherman. With Logo and the work Stephanie is doing at FX, they too are moving forward our stories and our agenda and our lives. I'm honored to share this evening with them and confident that as long as they continue to do the work they're doing, our fights will go on being fought and our stories will continue being told. I just have to say that LGBT people historically have written and directed and produced many of the world's greatest movies and television shows while hiding behind veiled portrayals of our real true selves. We've given it up, we've given away our gifts to the dominant heterosexual culture, and we will keep on doing it for them because, I don't know, because we're that generous and talented and prolific, I guess. But I'd like to think that we won't do it any longer at the expense of seeing our own selves fully and gloriously and complexly and glamorously and heroically represented right alongside of them. I'm hopeful right now as we find ourselves poised on the brink of an historic change for the good. I'm honored to be a part of this community of artists and activists and creative advocates who are gathered here tonight. And I'm so grateful to have come to know and love this incredible group of women with whom I've worked these past 6 years. Jennifer and Pam and Daniela and Rose, and also Leisha and Mia and Laurel and Kate and Rachel, not to mention Erin and Sarah and Karina. I could go on and on and on. I'm equally grateful to the center for doing the real work that keeps us moving forward as a community. Thank you for having us here tonight to celebrate with us our joyful 6-year run of the L Word. And I'm especially grateful to all of you here tonight for sharing your stories with us and letting us entertain you with ours these last 6 years. Onward, thank you.